Hi there. I've been using the LMR 400 coax for a little bit over a week now. Very happy with the performance of the coax. One of the first things I noticed was the background noise is considerably lower on both my radios that I use, the 10, 12, and 15 meter, and my vintage unit in Washington. Like I said, the background noise is a lot lower. But one thing I did notice was a difference in the SWR. Now, my SWR, once I hooked the LMR 400 coax up, was considerably higher than it was on the RG8X. Both of them 100 feet, but the RG8X, if you remember from my chart, had a dB loss of 1.78 versus 0.76 on the LMR 400. So what this would do is, on the RG8X, since it has a higher dB loss, some of the signal going from the antenna to my SWR meter, we're going to have quite a bit of signal loss, so it's going to tend to lower the SWR, the true SWR of the antenna. And when I hooked up the LMR 400 with the dB loss of 0.76, it's showing closer to the true SWR of the radio, which is higher than, as I was saying, than higher showing on the RG8X. Which brings me to another point. I knew when I did my video and I said I was using an A99 antenna that I would get comments on the A99 antenna, and it did not disappoint. I had comments saying it was junk or crap, why would you even use that, to more friendly comments saying there's better antennas out there. The comments where there's better antennas out there, I'm more likely to respond and say, hey, I know that, but that's what I have, that's what I chose to use, versus someone right off the bat attacking you. If you want to get a comment back, kind of being courteous and not attacking someone for their choice will go a long ways. But anyway, it's a YouTube channel, and I know people have strong opinions, and some people just kind of like to cut you down, and that's all right. I have a thick skin. It doesn't bother me. All right, looking at the NANO VNA, here is the current SWR I have. This does an antenna sweep. And if you look down here, we start at 26.965, which is the beginning of the 11 meter band. And then we end up at 29.700, which is the end of the 10 meter band. Now what happens up here, it would keep rising, but since we've run out of room on the screen here, it just kind of flattens out. But I'll show you how we can read that. So we're starting here at the beginning of the CB band. And this would be channel 1. And then you could see we have an SWR of 1.52. And then if we move it down, our lowest SWR is 27, yeah, let's look at it. 1.16, which is at 27.457. And that would be outside, yeah, that would be outside of the 11 meter band, because the 11 meter band goes to 27.405. So we're what CBers call, or I think CB users call, I think, the free zone or something like that. But anyway, we're in the frequencies between 11 meters and 10 meters, which is no man's land, and you're not allowed, even if you have a ham license, to transmit in those bands. So anyway, if we continue up, let's start at the bottom of the 10 meter band, which is 28 megahertz. And let's get up there. And as you can see, our SWR is 1.753. But that's not where we can broadcast. From 2800 to 28.3 is set aside for beacons. So if we start at around 28.3 megahertz, you can see my SWR is going to be 2.289, which is way too high. So what we need to do is go outside and tune the antenna closer to 10 meters. So my goal here is to lower this, get it closer to 1, and that will drop the 10 meter band. So what we need to do is go outside and retune the antenna. And what I want to retune it at is, on the CB band, I basically only talk skip on 38 lower sideband. So we want, let's see, what's 38 is 27.385 megahertz. So we want to maybe get the SWR there around 1.1, 1.2, maybe even 1.3. And what that will do is lower the 10 meter band, also the SWR. So as it's set up right now, the SWR is way too high on 10 meters. So I think on the A99 antenna, what we need to do is go to the tuning rings and adjust them. Right now they're in the middle. I think we need to adjust them upward, and that'll put the SWR lower on the 10 meter band. So what I need to do is go outside. I need to loosen the clamps because I can't reach the rings. The antenna's up too high. And we'll see what the SWR is. I also want to see what happens when I lower the antenna down about probably 12 feet, if that changes the SWR. If so, I'm going to have to take that in consideration, because the SWR will change when I raise the antenna again. So let's go outside and see if we can tune this better. All right, I just lowered the antenna about 12 feet, 15 feet, and my SWR really didn't change. So this is a good spot to adjust the antenna. So those are the rings we need to adjust. So I think we need to turn them higher. All right, turning them higher, or raising the rings, made the SWR go up to 1.4. All right, so after playing around with it a bit, let me show you where we are at. Okay, here we are on 11 meters. I have the radio hooked up again. And this is channel 38. And we're around 1.3 on the SWR. All right, and on 10 meters, this is around 28.301. We are at about maybe 1.85. Okay, 12 meters. Okay, 12 meters were really high, but I don't normally talk on 12 meters. And 15 meters is a little better. About 1.7. All right, so the takeaway from all this is The antenna is tuned better for 10 meters now, but it's still, the SWR readings are kind of high, but not high enough to hurt the radio. I do have the radio set to stop transmitting if I think I get above 2.6, 2.7, but we're far enough below that where we can still transmit on 10 meters. So I'm going to call that successful, and we're good to go. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit that subscribe button if you already haven't. And I appreciate hit the like button if you like my videos. So thanks again, and I'll see you next time.